So this comment that I'm 30, my dating account is banned, yada yada. You see that this is not more a gender issue, but it's more like a human issue, because the type of relationships and the type of decisions that we make right now or enter into would determine the type of society that we would create tomorrow. Due to all of these systems and extremes where the 1% is just rewarded on both the ends, the middle people just get crushed, and these feelings of unworthiness and loneliness start creeping within. Not because in truth they are unworthy. All of us have infinite potential. It's just that under what situations and under what environment that potential finds expression in one's life. Yo guys, namaskaram. Today's video is quite interesting because of a comment that I had received. So I'll just read it to you. It was on a video that I had done by the name of Indian dating market collapsing. I thought it's pretty interesting, and I'm assuming from this comment that it's a female. So I'll also attach it, but I'll just read it. Sir, what to do? I don't have any expectations, but my dating account is banned everywhere just because of their terms and conditions, which don't let you exchange social media IDs. And they believe the false reports done by angry men who don't get my reply. What to do? I can't do arranged marriage because men have sky high expectations. I'm not model like in terms of looks, hence it's impossible for me to get married. Feeling very lonely at 30. Thought this is pretty interesting because you see that the system that we have created is just impacting both the males and the females as well. For this video, I'll just predominantly make it from the perspective of, let's say, a female, and add in some, you can say, spiritual insights, so that we are just making decisions from the right center, or at least the attempt is to remove a certain sense of falsehood on the internal level, and externally a sort of strategy. Now the reason, I think in my recent video someone had commented about me prioritizing more on the outgoing real life social mingling of sorts. I still believe that, because that is where you understand, let's say, the true energies and vibes of how you're clicking with the person in front of you. And man, like, is a social animal of sorts, so that's the reason. But of course, like, the more discussions we get started through this comment section, this is exactly the type of community I want, wherein we're just improving each other through critiques, analysis, and things like that. But anyhow, coming back to this video, so this might be a little bit uncomfortable, something that not a lot of people openly talk about, but this thing, loneliness, is destroying millions of people. And on top of that, when you see that all your friends are moving ahead in life, you also do comparison, and then that makes you just a reserved sort of person, because earlier the people whom you felt close with now feel distant because they're married and like moved on to the next chapters. And this is not the cute loneliness that a lot of influencers talk about and keep on monetizing themselves. To be honest, I hate this word influencer. I feel everyone just can have a perspective of, and everyone is a homo sapien. This is like more deeper. It has like normal existential midlife crisis sort of thing. That type of loneliness it is, and that comes when the dating market, as has happened with this lady, has rejected her, and the arranged system also rejects you, because your mind right now, or the beliefs that you have, just are wired very differently. So this comment that I'm 30, my dating account is banned, yada yada, you see that this is not more a gender issue, but it's more like a human issue, because the type of relationships and the type of decisions that we make right now or enter into would determine the type of society that we would create tomorrow. So let's first just understand it from an inner clarity of sorts, that how we can detach to somewhat level this suffering that we are having, and get some clarity and freedom for this need to seek validation, and on an outside level, how we can position ourselves to gain some leverage and have a certain sort of dominance, wherein we just don't feel this left out species, left out persons. India is not a dating culture, it's not a free social culture of sorts, because you're just stuck in the middle right now. It's not also a traditional arranged marriage culture anymore. So a lot of confusion exists. We are like in a no man's land of sorts, where no one knows where they are going. The young people of today are living in a Western digital interference, a Western influx of sorts, and they have like these, you can say, regressive cultural expectations, which is usually done on them by their parents, And on top of that, we just don't educate ourselves emotionally speaking, and like there's massive societal pressure because of friends are getting married, people around us are posting pictures in social media and things like that. All of this just creates this cesspool of loneliness, and people start thinking that they're unworthy, they haven't done anything of worth in their lives. But that is not the truth. The truth is that this whole system that is created is very incoherent and contradictory and full of hypocrisy on a lot of levels. Our job is to just understand strategically that how we can cure all of this restlessness and just not take decisions which might harm us in the long term, because marriage is one of those decisions that has a major cost, economically as well, socially as well, and psychologically as well, let's say for women and men both. I'm assuming from this comment that she's not that type of a person who would exploit people or go into marriages to just get alimonies and things like that. So that's like a safer assumption here. But anyhow, so let's just talk about the internal psychological mindset first. I feel loneliness is not caused by the absence of people, because there are like a lot of people around us. It's just caused by not having a genuine connect with the people whom we are around us. So we all have this craving within us to just feel heard within our people, within our society. And once that start missing, we go into this shell that no one understands us and things like that. It's not like this lack of physical company per se of people. It's just a more deeper problem. And I think the deeper problem is that once you are not at peace with yourself, that this is the type of personality you are and this is what you're comfortable with, you'll always feel like a misfit. Because once you realize that this is the type of person you are, you'll try to move into places or into environments where you find a similar wavelength of people. Now I understand there are cultural realities, maybe financial realities, but then once this awareness comes in, you'll at least start working towards it. So it's this validation, this need of validation that we want from that other person is what I want to address. Because if we are basing our life on the wrong center, that would eventually lead in us making a decision from the wrong center, which would lead to lifelong regret. And any desire that is rooted on the wrong center, or if I use spirituality in Adhyatma, we term all of this from the perspective of ego. This is what our scripture says. When any desire is rooted in the ego, we become desperate, you can say weak and unattractive in our own eyes, and then that is exuded in the outside situations and environment. That is why you see men become needy, desperate, and clingy, and a lot of women collapse under insecurities of just comparing themselves to a lot of other people. Due to this, both of them start degrading themselves, which is just not good for a healthy functioning society which creates long-term value in the world. So this problem that I feel lonely, this is just your inner voice screaming that please listen to me. You have run away from me, let's say for the past 30 or for the past 15 years. I think the first step is to just listen to that. And once you start listening to that, you will see that this need to be chosen by the outside person, an outside partner, an opposite gender would just be discarded, because clarity would then start coming in your own life. Once you start functioning with clarity, it just commands an aura about you, has that sort of magnetic effect. You're always impressed by the people who are very clear in their decisions and choices and things like that. And like, I'm assuming since you're a girl, you know that people or men who text you out of desperation, how repulsive they become. Whereas if a person genuinely wants to know the real you, even as a friend, you just let your guard down. So I think that's the subtle distinction. Right now, we are just flipping the script because we have come at this age where society tells us to get married or we'll be left behind. And then we're just sending out these energies of desperation out on the universe. Now, let's come to the outer problem from a societal point of view, from an environmental point of view. I have talked a lot about in my recent video the app of Instagram, but let's go a little bit deeper on the dating apps. So they're like not real dating spaces. Please understand, they are visual marketplaces where people are presenting the best filtered photos of them. And if I have to use an analogy from a casino, you see that in casino people are just lighting the gambling table a lot. That is what those dating apps are, wherein you're just being lighted under these fake lights. You give money and your profile is being pushed. It's like a superficial filtering system. If you have seen movies and casinos and things like that, you see that the whole system is rigged, but the person is made to feel that he or she is winning in life in that gambling table and things like that. And if I come, like, let's say from an arranged marriage perspective, People are just pushed into marriages without checking any genuine compatibility. It is mostly like a checklist screening of sort that okay, he earns this much, this is his caste, this is his religion, what are his parents, where would he go, and things like that. And the social status, that what is the type of social status that our family would get, whether it would be an increase in social status or not. So it's like a transaction of sorts. You see, both these systems are made on extreme ends and illusions, because on one we are just going on an illusion of sort, and on the second end, it's the illusion of outside respect that your parents deem worthy of. These are like superficial qualities, to be honest, in the long run. Now this is like a genuine truth that by 30 we're still figuring out a lot of things. A lot of people are, let's say, quote unquote average looking, they're average earning, not very high in finances, not very low. You can say just average social people. But due to all of these systems and extremes where the 1% is just rewarded on both the ends, the middle people just get crushed, and these feelings of unworthiness and loneliness start creeping within. Not because in truth they are unworthy. All of us have infinite potential. It's just that under what situations and under what environment that potential finds expression in one's life. But because we are ruling or placing our worth on the marketplace, and our center has shifted to just make decisions from the marketplace, genuine substance is shifted to the perception of, let's say, the outside people as to how they would perceive us. The genuine character of a person is just traded with, let's say, how visible they can be on the social media apps, or how visible they can be from a rishta perspective. Let's say when mothers start putting resumes out from a rishta perspective, and genuine stability in the long term is just replaced with a lot of aesthetic and social media validation poses and things like that. So you see the whole environment in which you are a part of, that is a major problem, rather than internalizing all these beliefs within you. But there's a very good thing which I had heard recently, that the more we start living in, let's say, filth, the more we become accustomed to it, and then a point comes in life when we even stop questioning that why is it that we are living in that filth. You might have seen that when you're 20, in your early 20s, there's like a lot of rebelliousness, the spirit to change things a lot, because you're not happy with the system that is in front of you. But slowly you start adjusting, thinking that, oh, this is how people are, they won't change their habits and things like that. You get into that sort of comfort if you just don't keep on changing your environment, or let's say going into environments where you know that your inner void, or the inner being that you are truly, is just finding genuine expression. So that's the problem. So just with open eyes study your environment. Don't complain and internalize things. See what you can do to move it if there are like genuine problems that you see. Now let's go in a little bit depth about this trend of loneliness. It's happening today of one thing. People don't experience real acceptance anywhere. Not in dating apps, not in arranged marriages, not in their social circles, always feeling like a misfit. Not in family expectations, not in any online space. Everyone feels like a product of sorts, wherein everyone just needs to present their best self. For a girl, she has always heard, I've seen clients coming to me crying, where people have told them to just be prettier, be richer, be fairer, be taller, be more impressive. You know the list. But a lot of people crack under this because we have just treated all of this as normal. We don't understand the value of genuine empathy, genuine emotion, genuine building of emotions, and things like that. That's why you internalize all of this, and loneliness can be just one word wherein you find all of this expression, wherein you're just feeling away from the environment and from your own being, and you feel like a failure in your own eyes. You judge a lot as to how behind you are in life. You feel shameful, you feel that you're inferior, but in reality the system that the society has created is very inferior, because if we read the true scriptures of our life, if we read the true scriptures of our country, they've always told us that we are this atman, this infinite being with infinite potential. Due to a lot of invasions and things like that, the system that we have inherited, the useless system, which is totally broken, this has created this epidemic of sorts. Now you understand the reason that in COVID a lot of people were having major mental health breakdowns. Why? Because for the first time they saw that the system that they have created, things that they were very comfortable with, when they started just sitting at home, they realized the worthlessness of it and the worthlessness of their own life, and then that made them question their crisis. There were like a lot of midlife crisis and things like that. So because you're living in this marketplace, a distorted marketplace where everyone wants to profit themselves, don't let it attack your being. Now since you know the answer on somewhat levels, let's just now practically move into certain things. See, ideally, just to give you a disclaimer, I'm not very fond of marriage and things like that, because right now I see that like there's not a lot of self-aware people, and if one is walking that path of self-awareness, he eventually becomes a misfit. But I think that's a personal decision that one needs to take. I cannot say for you that whether marriage is good, bad. Everyone needs to decide on individual cravings and things like that. But what I can do is just help you with some pillars and principles. Firstly, like from a spiritual perspective, just detach yourself completely from this romantic validation that someone would validate me, someone would tell me how good I am. What destroys people is not the rejection that they receive, it's the craving that I want to be accepted by this person, still he's not validating me, and then we end up becoming slaves of that partner. Instead, just flip that. Become so whole and complete within by finding niches, finding your own hobbies. You start finding yourself, and then automatically the right people would come to you. You have to learn to live in such a way that your peace is not dependent on the matches we are receiving, the replies you're getting from genuine mails, any proposals, compliments. When you stop seeking validation from the outside world, you become very powerful. Next thing is go back to your college days when you remember that how desperate freaks were texting you like a freak. Right now, you're just signaling that energy to the universe. Remove desperation from your being. People feel your desperation before they feel your true character. Desperation is the opposite of attraction. Attraction is when a person genuinely admires you, respects you. But right now, the energy that you're projecting because of certain economic situations and family pressures and things like that, you're just doing the opposite of it. Just speak and walk and build yourself in such a way that you want to live from an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset, that there are just like infinite options in the universe. Right now, it might be hard to swallow this pill, but trust me, when you start living from abundance, the universe starts opening up in that direction. Don't make a single relationship your identity. Whether you're single, you're married, you're divorced, whatever it is. Since in this girl, she's single and looking for marriage, but I'm just talking generally. These relationships are not our identities. These are just like certain circumstances which have happened randomly due to certain situations and things like that. Your identity should be crafted by your own intellect, your own being. It should come from a sense of clarity, the sort of values that you hold in life. Let's say if you want to find yourself, if work gives you meaning, maybe just investing a lot in that, creating a sort of discipline in that, and working a purpose of sorts. Because I've seen a lot of, let's say, quote unquote married people, both are businessmen, both live separately, cheating on each other, let's say through their corporate works and things like that. So isn't it better that instead of getting into marriages, living like that, you're just living from the right center before, rather than getting into all these compulsions, and then whatever happens should happen. It's not that we are left behind. Now, there's a practical reality. I understand that, let's say, you might be worried about the biological clock, about you having kids and things like that. Does it even matter? Because the population right now is so much, like so many orphaned children that really need parents. I don't know, that can be a good perspective, that rather than just having your own kids, just be more grateful to the earth that we have an ecological responsibility of sorts. This might seem hurtful and harmful, but practically speaking, this can be a very strategic solution so that you're just free of all these pressures of kids and what the society expects from you. We want to live a life wherein there's just like, when death approaches us, even death should say that he or she lived life in such a way that there was some vigor, some can say intensity about this person. Which brings me to the next point, is killing this fantasy self that I'll be a perfect partner one day, someone would come and hug me and whatnot. You know what all goes in the name of fantasy. You're not entitled to be a soulmate of any person. Please be your own soulmate. Life gives what you earn. Naval says that a house full of love, a fit body, and a calm mind needs to be earned. So, in a similar way, I think just work on these other things: a calm mind, a fit body, whatever happens. Like, a lot of realities exist. Since you're living in India right now, we feel that marriage is the only reality, but like a lot of realities, it's just about changing your environment into things where you feel that you're genuinely, you can say, accepted. And most importantly, this is like my core message, is building a life that is fulfilled without any dependency on any partner for that matter. When you become emotionally full, you have worked on yourself, you have fixed holes in your personality, people authentically gravitate towards you. That is, they come towards you, they seek stability in your presence. Your presence and energy that you exude should become so stable that people just find hope and inspiration through your example. I think marriage is not the end all, because right now you see that marriages are just getting ruined in a lot of weird reasons, and then people just live with lifelong regrets. From an outer perspective, let's say what we can do on the outside is, of course, you might have gotten an idea that once you start building yourself, you would go into these networks of sorts wherein, let's say, there are like gym memberships, workshops, meetup, fitness spaces. Maybe you're volunteering, developing your hobby classes. The more people you meet, the more you'll understand that there exists certain type of people maybe whom I can click with. That's again a personal choice, but these can be certain, you can say, solutions wherein you're just not feeling this way. You're just fixing both the internal world and the outer world, because the more skills you develop, the more it would just help you to be financially independent as well. I've seen that girls, or let's say women in general, are living this subpar life because they're very dependent on their males for finances and things like that. We just need to be independent people. So my core thing would be just building leverage in your life through your lifestyle. That the more fulfilled you become in your life, the more attractive you would become in your own eyes, and let's say for the right person. Travel a lot, developing a lot of skills, working just on your health and building a sort of discipline. These are like genuine lifelong qualities that would just serve you. Why do you want to regress to those shackles wherein a person should just bind you all the time? This life is a gift, utilize it wisely. And most importantly, one relationship is not your entire identity. Life has a lot of facets in life. Explore a lot of those things, because right now we are young. This is the only time to explore a lot of, you can say, travels, do a lot of hikes and things like that. You'll not do these things when you're 70, 80 with a stick in your hand. So these are, I think, some perspectives which I wanted to. Towards the end, I would just want to talk that we're just not lonely. We just need to understand the system that we are a part of right now and make a choice that does that system define my identity or not. Don't look for validation or think that a person or a partner might fulfill me, because in a lot of marriages, when you start reading research papers and books, you see that the fun just lasts for a year. Let's say when the initial honeymoon period dies down, after that people loathe their partners. The person who was the star of their lives, let's say in 25, 30, becomes the hill of their life when they reach 40, 45, because there are like so many restrictions, not a lot of genuine compatibility and things like that. And that happens because we jumped into this institution of marriage, this long-term commitment, without even becoming self-aware. So my advice would be to just become self-aware first. Whatever you decide, it's on you. But I think each person to its own, that whether marriage works for them or does not. But please understand that a long-term solution is not marriage, dating apps, more swipes, more proposals. The real solution is building your identity on the right center and helping that identity find expression through a right way. The moment you detach yourself from this craving, this inner hollowness that someone should choose you, someone should validate you, your whole world changes. You stop chasing for weird things. You stop begging for people to just please be in our lives because of societal things and whatnot. You stop performing theatrics. You stop living a life out of falseness, and you stop crumbling under your own weight, because a deeper voice within you wants that you also find expression. Your unique potential should also find expression. And trust me when I say this, that a person who stands on his own 2 feet is very attractive, is never lonely, and builds genuine self-respect in their own eyes. So please understand, you're not the problem. Your fear craving is the society, the parental expectations, the environment. You are complete, but you just need to work towards matching that bridge between your dreams and your actual reality. You just need to match that bridge through hard work. And when you fix inside, this inside restlessness and void, on the outside you'll automatically start taking actions. You'll stop being a victim of the modern relationship market, where a lot of insecurities are being inserted into you due to, let's say, their own greed and whatnot. Become a person where we're just very comfortable and authentic in our own unique skin, not because we want to beg, we want to impress anyone, but just want to live an authentic life from the right center and pick up a lot of battles, because this world needs warriors on the right battles right now. Climate change, animal cruelty, whatnot. Like there are like so many battles, so choose your battles wisely. I think in a lot of cases, I've seen that marriage becomes an obstacle for a lot of people when they want to do big things, because now they have these responsibilities, alimony, kids, whatnot. But first, focus on becoming a stable, clear, and powerful human being. Most importantly, in your eyes, in a collapsing society which is confused, full of validation freaks, cheating, whatnot is happening. But yeah, I think that was a small video which I wanted to share. Let me know what you feel about this video. I think this can help you to somewhat level. And yeah, I think for men who are watching this, to write what are your observations, what solutions would you have. I'd love to catch you in the next video. Do write in the comment section what limitations you have broken, any insights, learnings that you might have had. And yeah, let's get these discussions started, because if I start going into the nuances of each and every situation, probably I think a lot more time needs to be invested. Some general insights, some general situations and observations which I keep on doing. But anyhow, you stay awesome, keep working. Let me know what you feel about this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, this is Debu Ki Dastak from Debu Ki Dastak signing off. Cheers, bye, stay awesome.